Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson with you. Thank you for joining us on a bit of an overcast but beautiful day in downtown Lancaster. We are, of course, in the fabulous lobby here of Fairfield Federal, where as we move into June and July, so many things start happening right in this area here, but certainly behind us in the gazebo and downtown as the festivals come in. We've got some things later. We'll talk about all that. But when you think about this time of the year, it's hard to imagine that 10 years ago, an unknown name that came up, and we didn't know what would be 10 years later, still talking about it, was Hank Kabel and the sarcoma and the foundation. It's just got legs and it's really grown. So here we are 10 years later talking about Hank Kabel Sarcoma and everything that's been done because of that. And really the young lady that's driven all that is our guest today, Amy Carpenter. Amy, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Paul.
10 years. That's hard to believe.
It is.
Really. You know, when we start talking about this, you know, we used to have the big standard you had of Hank and around, and it's been a heck of a journey.
It really has. I can't believe looking back it's been 10 years.
So just as a kind of a quick recap of that, we don't want to spend too much time on it, but he was your puppy.
Yeah, he actually started out as my sister's dog, and I was his aunt. And then in 2013, he was diagnosed with a rare cancer. It was a grapefruit-sized sarcoma. And we did everything to try to help him. We did radiation, chemo, 3 surgeries, and one of them I drove him all the way to Colorado State University. They got 99% of it, and then it grew back and it metastasized in November. And so, you know, like any pet parent and someone who thinks that their dog is like their child, I grieved. It was really hard for me. And I'm the type, I can't just sit around and be sad. I have to do something. And so I started researching to find out, like, you know, how many dogs get cancer and what is sarcoma. And I started finding out the statistics that dogs get it 5 times more than people, and little kids are the second most common. And I thought, you know, someone's got to do something about this. I just felt like it was, you know, if I had never heard of it, then there's got to be other people that's never heard of it too.
And I think over the years, as we've talked about this with your calendars and with your events and things you've had going on all year, that's the thing that I think strikes me as much as not only is this a pet issue, which is bad enough. Anybody has a pet, that's bad enough. But in adults and children, I mean, it's a big deal throughout the spectrum.
It really is, and the thing is, if you can catch it early, you can make a difference. But a lot of people don't know what they're seeing. They don't know the signs, you know, like, oh, my dog's just been feeling bad last couple of days, you know, but they don't put 2 and 2 together what it is, you know, because it could be other things too, other health issues, and same in people. I had a friend who was in a car accident and her leg was hurting, and they kept blaming the car accident on it. And here it was a sarcoma in her leg. So, like, my whole goal is for people to be aware, not only in themselves or their children, but also in their animals, and to know, so if they start seeing these signs and they can catch it early.
Do you think vets are becoming more aware of this too? I
hope so. I feel like it's something that the more vets are educated and people are educated, you know, people are more aware about. But it's something I just feel like that we don't know enough about, and I wish we could, because I feel like if it was out there all the time, like breast cancer awareness and all that, then maybe, you know, it would be caught earlier. But I just feel like we need to keep getting out there and preaching.
Well,
These are the signs.
I'll guarantee any vet here in Lancaster and Fairfield County, if you need somebody to preach or tell you all about this is a young lady to do that. There can't be a vet in Fairfield County that doesn't know what this is, because she's out there talking about it all the time. So the big thing we're pumping right now is you've got your race coming up here. That's in a couple of weeks, July 12th at the fairgrounds. That's always a big deal.
Yes.
It's certainly become a big deal.
It is.
Got a lot going on here. 7:30 in the morning. Wow, everything gets going.
Yeah, and it's nice because the people who are not runners, like, you don't have to, you know, to be a runner to come, you can come, because we also have raffle baskets that we're going to have there and things for sale. And we're going to have speakers like the police department, sheriff's office, highway patrol. One of my friends, her dog is a cadaver dog. They can find live and dead bodies. We also have someone coming who's has a dog that detects bed bugs. So we're going to have lots of cool speakers. So even if someone's not a runner, they can still come out and make some purchases to help us raise money, or to watch some of the speakers. And
So, so the registration is at 7:30. This is at the fairgrounds on
Yes.
July 12th. That's Saturday morning.
Yes.
Okay. And then the opening ceremony is 8:30. 9 o'clock is race
Yeah.
time, and you have to get registered pretty quick if you want a T-shirt.
yeah, that actually has already passed.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
but-
so
but-
you can still get in the race.
Yes, exactly.
All right. And then they got categories like any race. You can, you
Mm-hmm.
get first, second, and all that kind of stuff. Hank Kabel Sarcoma Foundation.com. You can just put Hank Kabel and you'll
It'll
run
come
across
up.
that on your.
Yeah.
It's a pretty well-known event on the Google, so you can find that. You got a lot going on. Raffle baskets, as you talked about. Speakers. You got vendors there. You got something for the whole family.
Yes. And it's a good day, like I said, for runners, for parents. You can bring your dogs out. It's hard to find events that dogs are welcome at. So it's nice to be able to come out and bring your dogs
Maybe
and your
dogs are
children.
more welcome here than people.
They actually are.
That's
people-
how Amy thinks. It's all about dogs.
Well, I helped with a race this weekend with one of my friends who helps run Hank's race, and I was in charge of the water. So when the people were running by and they had their dogs, I was like, oh, I got to give the dogs some water. I'm like, oh, did you want some?
You can make it. It's only 5 miles.
Right.
You're good. We got to get this dog. So this is, and again, over this 10-year arc that we've seen, where Amy has really positioned herself to promote this in a lot of different ways. We'll talk about some of those. One of them is Hank's calendar is
Yes.
coming up again. Now, I know we're kind of in the middle, 6 months ahead, but I mean, that's when you got to start thinking about
Exactly. Yeah, my deadline every year for our calendar for the next year is actually into May. So if I want it back in time for Hank's race, which is always the second Saturday of July, I have to have the next year done by the end of May. So I'm always a year ahead. So sometimes I get confused what year am I in, because like right now it's 2026, 2026.
this. Got your visions set. You're ready to go. So that's coming up. Do we know what it's about yet, or can you release it?
Sure, it's called Super Hank.
Super Hank. And,
Yeah.
and I think Shane's got a picture up there. We've got Hank in his Superman costume, looking pretty
yes.
cool.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a shout out to BW3s and Cryo Communications, because they donate our board every year. It's on Memorial Drive across from the hospital. And when I stopped to look at that this year, it brought tears to my eyes.
I see it every day. I come back
Yeah.
from the Y every day, and I see it
Aw.
right there.
It's just so sweet seeing his little paws come out of the Superman outfit. But we thought it was fitting because not only is it the 10-year, but also the Superman movie in Ohio.
Very
that was
big timing.
Yeah, it was filmed in Cincinnati and Columbus. It's going to be released the night before the race.
Nice.
So we thought that would be fitting to have that for our theme this year.
And also along with, again, all the events that over this 10-year period have kind of grown and gotten bigger and more things happening. We've got the race coming up on July 12th. We've got the calendar. It's coming up here. They're talking about it. We'll be talking about it till next year. And then you always have a bevy of yard sales.
Yes, we do.
And that first one is coming up here right after the race.
Right
the
after the
19th.
race, yes. It'll be the week after the race, and we just had some more donations.
Nice.
One of my sweet neighbors. It's funny, I didn't used to know my neighbors, and now I feel like I'm becoming friends with all the people in my neighborhood through Hank.
Sure.
And that's the way it was in my old neighborhood. I'd take him on a walk, and I just want to go walk and come home, and he'd want to go climb up on people's porches and get a belly rub and, stop and talk to people. I'm like, we're on a mission. Let's get home. And he's like, no, we're going to socialize.
No, we're going to PR this.
Yeah.
We'll bleed it.
Right.
And one of the things, and again, she's worked so hard over this 10-year arc to make all these things happen. We've had Tim Schaefer on here with that, and we've got, Hank's Law?
Yeah, Hank's Law.
Hank's Law. Tim was instrumental in getting that going. And but over the years, we've had the sheriff on, the police chief, the fire chief. The girl's a hard-working girl here. And she's got this going on. But lighting up is a big thing.
Yeah.
Places will light up to honor Hank, and that starts coming up here very shortly.
July 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Reds of all places.
Yes, the Cincinnati Reds. They're going to put it on their score video board.
Nice.
So if you're in the Cincinnati area, you can see it.
And again, that starts July 1st. That will light up for that. But then let's just give a little plug here to some of these other places. Fairfield Federal. Nice that you mentioned that. The week of July 1st, they'll do that here.
Yep.
Then we've got the Columbus Clippers.
Yep.
The City of Lancaster.
Yep.
Got that involved here. The Dublin Link Bridge. That's very nice up there. Columbus Crew is going to have a moment on July 19th. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on the 20th. Back there again.
Yep.
You got it working. You got it working. And then what used to be the only tall building in all of Columbus when I was growing up, and now it's in there. But I think we used to call it the Lincoln Levesque Tower. Maybe it's just a Levesque Tower now.
Yeah.
But it'll be lit up on July 26th.
Yes.
So these are all places that have all said, this is important to us.
Exactly, and that's my whole goal, because if people can see the yellow light, just like the pink ribbon, they'll investigate what is this, or they'll Google Hank's Law, and then it'll come up, and then they can see what are the signs that I should be looking for in a person, in a dog, and that's the whole goal is lighting up Ohio, all these places.
And I think
bring this awareness.
Really that's what all of this is about, whether it's the raise or it's the yard sales and raising the money and doing that. It's really not only are you raising money, which is important and you have to have that, but it's the awareness that you're raising.
Because when I started Hank's mission, I was like, okay, what is the most important thing to me? And it was not even just the money, because of course you need money for research to find a cure. But even more importantly to me, it was I want to get the signs out there, because I didn't know what to look for. I was on a walk with Hank, even just as his aunt, and we stopped and he lifted his leg to go to the bathroom and nothing came out. And I'll never forget that moment. But he'd just been at the vet, so I dismissed it. And as we walked on, he did go to the bathroom. Well, that was one of the signs. He had that tumor growing inside that became the size of a grapefruit. And that blocked him from being able to go to the bathroom, but I didn't know. So now I'm trying to get those signs out there. If something seems off, go to the vet, go to the doctor, get a second opinion.
You think places like the veterinary area up at Ohio State, which is huge and one of the great veterinary colleges in all of the United States, you think they're a little more aware of this now because of what's going on?
Definitely. And Dean Moore has been a wonderful support system. He is the best dean. He has 3 dogs who are his children too. So he gets how I feel about Hank and the love that people have for their animals. And so he's been a wonderful support system to try to help me spread the word and give testimony for Hank's Law.
Well, you've made a lot of friends, a lot of people that I'm sure in your busy life you never thought you'd have contact with, and now they've become virtually best friends and
Hank.
people you can call on all the time, and because of Hank. So let's hit it again here. Saturday, July 12th, coming up here in just a couple of weeks, 7:30 in the morning, registration for the Hank Kabel Sarcoma Foundation's 10th annual Walk, Run, and Festival. So you got everything going on here. It's Fairgrounds, just a few blocks from here on Fair Avenue. Just Google Hank Kabel, you'll find it on there. We hope for good weather. I guess that's the only thing you can't control, which I knew you would if you could, knowing you.
I pray. I'm like, God and Hank, come through for me, please.
Well, it's a wonderful cause, Hank Kabel Sarcoma Foundation, and the work you've done is just a yeoman work, and good for you for sticking at this. Amy Carpenter doing great work for Hank. He'd be very proud right now. I know he would.
That's the ultimate compliment.
Amy Carpenter, July 12th, the big race at the fairgrounds. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you've been thinking about getting a home loan, now is the time. Hi, this is Carrie James from Fairfield Federal. Our experienced lenders are here to help you make your vision a reality. For more than 125 years, we've been helping our community achieve home ownership. Fairfield Federal has convenient online application for your home loan, home equity loan, and home equity line of credit needs. Visit fairfieldfederal.com to get started. Fairfield Federal for checking, savings, and home loans. Data charges may apply, subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 402612.
The reason why I do what I do is I love helping people, and I really love to work on understanding and striving to improve the lives of the people in our community. Being in Fairfield County is having a network of people around you.
I am driven by my belief that every individual deserves an opportunity to achieve mental and emotional balance, and I'm very passionate about contributing to that process.
Community, connections, collaboration. The Fairfield County Way.
What makes Fairhope what it is our staff. It's always a question that we ask, why do you want to be here with us? And what they most always say is, you've touched my life this way. You know, you took care of this person, or I've seen what you've done and I want to do that. And so the staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
Fairfield Medical Center is more than a hospital. We're a health system that's been putting people first for more than a century. From the youngest patients to the eldest, our compassionate team of caregivers are here to support you through every season of life. We are healers, cheerleaders, patient advocates, and champions. Your health is our greatest accomplishment, and we are proud to serve you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
Did you know Fairfield DD provides coordination for over 1,200 people in Fairfield County? That's 1,200 unique journeys, each filled with talents, dreams, and challenges. And while no two paths are the same, one thing is true for everyone. Life is easier when you have the right support. That's why we're here. From early childhood milestones to school transitions, employment, and adulthood, Fairfield DD connects individuals and families with the resources they need every step of the way. When the right support is available, a vibrant community where people lead lives of greater independence and make meaningful contributions becomes possible. Learn more at fairfielddd.com and check us out on social media. Together, we're building a more inclusive Fairfield County.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. We sure appreciate Amy Carpenter coming by and talking about the Hank Kabel and the sarcoma projects that she's going on. And we talked about that's the 10th annual event for her. So she's had this for a decade going on, but that pales in a little bit to our next one because over 30 years ago, 33 years perhaps, a group of men here in town decided it was needed to be taken over the July 4th parade to kind of rejuvenate it, put some new life into it. It had been going down for a few years, and now fast forward to 33 years later, and it's one of the events in town. One of those original people was Dave Smith. Welcome.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
33 years, huh?
Yeah.
You must have
half
been
a lifetime.
Just a kid.
Yeah, I was zero.
Zero.
I'm only 34 right now.
Okay. But 33 years ago, would that be accurate? I mean, a group of people saw we need to do more.
Yeah, and there were people already in the committee
and had been doing it for a while.
Yes, and veterans and things like that. They just needed some more people. Most nonprofits need more people,
Sure.
more time, and we just gave them a helping hand, and it's paid off very well for us in the community. And we have lots of good sponsors that help us financially. It does take money to put rockets in the air, and Hamburg Fireworks does a wonderful job for us.
How fortunate is your committee, is Lancaster, to have that local? I mean, that's a difference maker.
Kaboom. And what happens is that between Jerry Sprague when he first started out and now his Ken and his sisters and the family, if they weren't in our backyard, they wouldn't be able to provide what they have is a civic duty responsibility that they take very seriously. They want the best show in their county, in their community.
Sure.
And they give us a good price on it. So rest assured, even though we charge $20 to park a car, all that money, all the money that we collect from the food vendors, the ride vendors, the craft vendors, all that goes to pay for fireworks and security on the site. So it's well worth it. Most people who have never been to this show say how surprisingly good fireworks show it is.
We'll talk a little bit later. We get a chance about some of the costs because there's some things to think about there. But anyway, it's July 4th, 8:30. It lines up down at the fairgrounds, and then 10 o'clock it kicks off. And what, an hour, couple hours?
Yeah, by the time that people start seeing it on Columbus Street before it gets downtown, then turns a corner and goes back up Broad Street, it's about an hour long at any point in time. But if you want to talk about when they come in and when they leave, it's about 2 hours.
About 2 hours.
From the fairgrounds.
But it's really quite the event. We'll have it here with Interface Video. They'll be broadcasting that. That's always great fun. Johnny Garber and Amanda Everett will be involved in that. They do such a terrific job. And we'll be telling you about all the places you can see that, which are a lot of them. WLOH is going to be there. Mark Bohack. It's going to be on YouTube and Interface. It'll be on all kinds of places. 33 years, and it's a significant event that you put on. I will say that it's if the weather's beautiful, and we're holding our fingers crossed for that, it's a wonderful event.
It is. The weather's been a little iffy here in May and early June. But
if by iffy you mean rainy.
Rainy, that's what I mean. And Ron Burris has the distinction of being very successful as not crowd control, cloud control.
I remember the first time I used to have him and Jim and you were all on, and he told me that the first time. That's never forgotten it.
No, you always think he's saying it wrong because there is no such thing as cloud control. But last year, we had a single cloud. Now, it had been rainy all week before the 4th. And then on the 4th, it was okay. Iffy, and there was this one cloud from about 8 o'clock on that was trying to get to us. And we were thinking about shooting off the fireworks early. What are we going to do? How do we get the people inside that and know it's going to happen early instead of at 10 o'clock? And we dodged the bullet. We kept working with Ken Sprague in the infield. He said, well, just wait a few more minutes. And I said, what? He said, just wait a few more minutes. And everybody had their favorite GPS or radar on, trying to figure out, okay, who has the better view of this?
For this?
Yeah, better app. And as it turned out, it went through Bremen or Sugar Grove, one or the other, and we escaped. And we set them off at 10 o'clock, and everybody got home without getting wet. It was wonderful.
So things really begin after the parade. The parade starts at 10, let's say a couple hours for that, and then noon to 10, things really kick off at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, very traditional for us. We'll have the kiddie rides and fair food and arts and crafts that are available for purchase, and just a hometown 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
We know that people like to picnic with their family, maybe the noon meal, maybe the evening meal. So we don't try to command their whole day. Come when you can, and we get a lot of young families that come in early from noon to 4 o'clock. They don't, even though it's warmer, they don't have to, with their strollers and everything else, they don't have to fight the bigger crowds that start coming in at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So everybody gets to pick their time as they wish and have a great time there. But we'll have music there. We'll have a DJ and then a band, right in front of the at the fair stage by the fairgrounds office and near the grandstand. But of course, the big show is the fireworks. Always the big show.
Is that around 10-ish? Do you try to set that at 10?
Yeah. Carrie Peters will do the national anthem for us right at 10 o'clock.
Right.
And as long as she hits the last note,
kaboom.
Kenny's ready to start the program. Ken's ready for the program.
Still off the mountain again this year?
Yeah, and that's something else that Lancaster really has uniquely different. A lot of communities have fireworks, but they're usually in the flats.
Sure.
And we have a mountain just across the street that's another, I can't remember, 500 or 800 feet higher. And they can use bigger shells, bigger rockets, go higher in the air, make a bigger impression. And if you're anywhere in Fairfield County, you can see the ones off of Mount Pleasant. Nobody else has I don't think anybody else in the state has a setup like that. Yeah, we don't have a Brooklyn Bridge that you can shoot them off of, but if you're in Fairfield County, you can see our fireworks, which is great.
Our whole fairground setting, if that's all we ever had, which for years that was all we ever had, that could be enough. But this is just a wonderful addition. So you've got rides for the kiddies. It's a whole family day. Again, stay or come and go as much as you want. For the young adults and the kids, they've got arts and crafts to deal with down there. Lots of that stuff going on.
Face painting and things like that.
And food. You've got vendors there.
Oh yeah. salt, sugar, fried. I think we got them all covered.
Fried is the big one.
Yeah, and you can sugarcoat that. You can put chocolate on that too. I found out. You can do all of that.
Well, and again, it'll kind of end up with, again, you'll have all that going on till 7, 8 o'clock at night. Lots of entertainment out there. It's right out in the infield right there in front of the grandstand.
Yeah, the midway area, if you
Yeah.
will. And we'll have Michael Riley there with his DJ.
Oh,
and
he does a great job.
He'll have contests, and he'll have some prizes from the downtown destination, the community of the downtown area, door prizes, if you will. But he'll have a little contest, hula hoops and things like that, trivia contests,
Sure.
And for everybody to enjoy. And then we have Justice 316 is a band new to us. That's able to come in, and they play a variety of music. They do have Christian rock, but they also play the oldies. They play modern, contemporary music. I think they'll take a "Hey, shout out, can you play?" Also, a very diverse local group coming together. For
Got
us.
hours for them or something
Yeah,
till
they're
10?
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
Yep.
And then Carrie Peters, that's a name perhaps I'm not familiar with. She'll be your national anthem
Yeah.
songstress.
She's been doing it in and out of the last 15 years probably. Great voice, and she does a great job for us. And the national anthem, if you ever tried to sing it by yourself, that's a range that a lot of people can't do. I know my range is about 3 notes.
Sure.
But she can hit the high one. She can go in low and take it out. She's a great singer, songstress, and we're very proud to have her come back.
And lots of times what you'll see, I don't know if you get it there, but you'll see it if it's at a football game or something, they're wearing the IFP, the ear set, and so they actually are hearing it sometimes later and different things. I don't even know how you do that.
Oh, no, you got to be well trained.
Oh, man, and good for her. So that's at 10 o'clock, and then Kaboom at
10:01, 10:03.
Of the Brave, and
Yeah.
bang.
Yeah, that's right.
It starts out.
It does.
And again, it's Hamburg Fireworks. I mean, again, can't say. And you've got a tremendous amount of local sponsors. Had you not had all of them, it wouldn't be what it is today. But they're the linchpin to the whole thing.
We get about 20% of our money is pure donations from facilities like where we are right now. Fairfield National, the downtown business community, local people, elected officials, pure donations coming in, which has to pay for the insurance and the fireworks and the security of fire and police and things like that. But we also make money off of the parking. So when we raised it from $15 to $20 a couple of years ago, we were very concerned about the impact that would have.
Sure.
But I think people understood things cost more. And as much as anything, it's our security that's costing more. It's not the fireworks from Hamburg. They've held their prices steady for about the last 5 years. Until this year, we have a little tariff thing.
I wanted to mention that too, because as good a job as they've done holding things the line to benefit their local hometown people, things happen out of their control that cause things to change.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things with supply chain from years ago with COVID, but the more recent thing this calendar year has been the tariffs and any imports, and most of the good fireworks come from China, and they also get some from Japan and Korea and Singapore and some of these other Asian countries that really know how to make great pyrotechnics. And you have to, we didn't have a choice. Ken didn't have a choice. You got to pay it to get it.
Yeah.
And as soon as they land, that's when the tariff goes on, and they won't release until the tariff's paid. And we appreciate that. And they're doing Hamburg's doing a great job working with us this year on how do you want to handle that. And we asked them first, how do you want to handle this? We know it's coming, and we want to be in a position to have the same fireworks as last year, if not better, because that's what we're known for. We're known for the fireworks.
Sure.
So we want to have them.
Well, and again, it doesn't hurt having local people here doing that. I think they want to do a good job for the folks that will go down there for the last 2 weeks leading up to July 4th.
Yep. And Ron Burr said a number of years ago, how can we make this show any better? And Jerry was still with us at that time, and he said, well, we got all this, we got it. And Ron said, well, how about we have a finale at the beginning and then a bigger finale at the end? They said, we can do that. And so a lot of people think, if they've never seen the show before, they think it's backwards because there's a mini finale right at the start just to get things moving.
And they're just kicking off.
Just kicking off. And
So it's July 4th. It's just a wonderful time. An entire event parade starts at 10 in the morning. It'll line the streets on Columbus and Broad. It makes the turn and comes back around Broad. You'll have the folks out here, Amanda and Johnny, talking about it on TV, and of all the places we mentioned. It's just going to be a fun day. Things start at the fairgrounds at noon on July 4th, and we only have a few seconds, but it's actually on July 4th. A couple years that'll change for a day, but not now.
Not now. This year it's Friday, July 4th.
Okay. Every day but Sunday when they have that. So July 4th is it. Coming up here in 2 or 3 weeks. I hope Ron Burst does his usual great job with the cloud control, and you're set.
We can't fire him, so he's got to do a good job.
Dave Smith with the July 4th Committee. Always a pleasure to have him on and talk about, again, for 33 years, this group of people on this committee that's grown and encompassed and done such a great job. Thanks for all you've done to kind of save this for the community. We're very thankful that you did.
Well, we like doing it, so it's mutual.
Keep it going. All right. That's a July 4th parade coming up here just 2 or 3 weeks away. Thanks for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.